Hi, I'm Belina. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. And whatever the case, I'm happy to have you. And you've come upon, well, if you've been here before, you know. But if you're new, you've come upon what I call Belina's 31 Days of Spectacular Scares. So that's me. What's mainly consisted of is me telling you spooky stories. So I pronounce it Ouija. I don't know if it's Ouija or Ouija. I listened to an audiobook, but I'm going to pronounce it my way. And the book I listened to was another one by John Harker. In one of my videos, I think it was about the love spell, I think. I'll put it in description. But he wrote Evil Unleashed, and I read a story from that. Well, I told you the story in my own words from that. And he is a journalist who has actually had paranormal experiences. And that's made him really interested in other people. And he's gathered stories from them. And that's what this is. This is about Ouija boards. And this is about a girl, an 11-year-old girl. She lived in LA, and a new girl had moved to her school, and none of the other kids liked her. They just didn't take to her at all. They said she was weird. And this girl, Marie is her name. Well, that's the name she's given in the books. That's what we're going to call her. And the unpopular girl is Anna. And Marie, she didn't like seeing Anna alone and, no friends. So she befriended her. And pretty soon her mom found out she had a new friend. And she told her she should bring her over sometime. So she did. And, they were just looking around for something to do. And they were looking in a closet and came across board games. And Anna was really, really excited when she saw that Marie had a Ouija board. And she wanted to play. And Marie said, she said, no. She said, that's boring. She said, nothing ever happens. And Anna laughed and she said, you're wrong about that. She said, you're just not playing it right. And then she confides in her. Well, she tells her, I don't guess she made her swear not to tell, but she tells her, my mom and I are witches, and we know how to use the board. So I'm starting to see why the classmates thought she was weird. But anyway, Marie was still skeptical, but she was her guest, so she decided to go along with her and play the Ouija board with her. So Marie sat down in a chair and had the Ouija board on her lap. And Anna put her hand, and Marie put her hands on the planchette. And then Anna put her hands over top Marie's. And she went in a circle with it. And she was saying something strange that Marie had never heard before. And then all of a sudden, she removed her hands from Marie's. Anna did. And the planchette started spelling M-A-R-I-E. And Marie just tossed the board. There was a little bit of fright there, but more anger than anything. She thought she was playing some kind of trick on her. And she told her, she said, I want to see you do that trick again. But this time, with neither one of us having our hands on the planchette. She said, okay. She said, put it on the floor. And put the planchette in the middle. And sure enough, it did the same thing. And this time, their hands weren't on it. So this really frightened Marie. And she ran down to her mom, really frightened. And she was telling her mom what had happened. And told her that she was afraid of Anna. So the mother ended up taking Anna home. And the mother thought it was just, her imagination, I guess she thought the two girls together and, that Marie had just gotten scared. But anyway, later on, after Marie had calmed down some, she went back into her bedroom and she saw the board there on the floor. And she's thinking now, well, it really doesn't look that scary. Maybe I should try again. After all, how did she do that? And I guess just curiosity. And she decided she was going to try to play it. So she sat in her chair again and put it on her lap. And she started trying to circle the board the way she'd seen Anna do. And I don't think she'd even said anything or asked any questions. But she immediately got a reaction from the board. She said that there was some entity or some force that threw the board off of her lap and onto the floor and also pushed her out of her chair. And she goes, by this time her dad's home, and she goes back downstairs, all shook up, crying, to mom and dad and telling them what had just happened. And really they thought again, or her mom thought again, her dad thought that it was her imagination. But yet, even so, to make her feel better, her mom had promised her that she would get rid of the Ouija board. But still, she was so shaken up from what had happened. It went days or nights that she would not sleep in her bedroom. And this went on like all week. And by the end of the week, her parents heavily insisted that she return to her bedroom, as she had been sleeping, I guess all of her life. So she was dreading it and reluctant, but she really didn't have a choice. But she took her dog to bed with her. And she hadn't been asleep very long. Something woke her up. And her dog was growling and scratching at the door. And then she noticed it was freezing cold in her room. Even though it wasn't cold weather, it was freezing cold. Well, it's LA, so it was freezing cold. And then she had this feeling that she wasn't alone. And she had this other feeling too. And looking back on it, she said she wouldn't call it fear. It was anger that came over her. She felt a lot of anger toward her parents. And I think she thought at the time it was mainly because, they had made her go back to her room. But she got out of bed. And after that, she doesn't remember really anything. But she ended up walking to her mom and dad's bedroom in a trance-like state. And at first, when she came in, they were kind of annoyed by her. But then when they spoke to her and they saw that faraway trance look, they were concerned. And the next thing that Marie knew, she was on the couch and her mom was wiping her face with a cool cloth. And she didn't know what happened. And her mom told her, she said, we get very concerned about you. You weren't responding. And also another thing she did, she pointed under the bed. Before, I don't know, I think maybe she passed out. But she had pointed under the bed at something when she was in her trance-like state. And anyway, come to find out what she was pointing at was actually the Ouija board. Her mom was going to get rid of it, but, she didn't think she had to be in a hurry because she thought this was kind of nonsense. She didn't believe that anything really bad was happening. So she had just put it under her bed. But I don't know if that's what drew Marie there or what. But anyway, she went into a state of not being herself. And after that, the parents checked her room. And they started to believe her. Because they felt the freezing cold. And they noticed the dog. The dog was still going crazy and growling. And they thought something wasn't right. So after that, her mom did get rid of the board. He didn't say in the story how, but he did go on to say that when the mom got rid of it, I was thinking she might have burned it, but I don't think you're supposed to do that. But she said when she threw it away, she could swear she heard it scream. And so that's where the story ends. So I don't guess she was ever bothered after that. I hope she wasn't. And wonder what happened to Anna. I doubt she made any friends, especially if the story got out about that. But anyway, I thought that was interesting. And I can tell you right now, I am someone, I have never touched a Ouija board, and I never will. It's, I'll read stories. It's like anything. I'll read stories about it, but no. And I would advise you all, you're going to do what you want to do, but I would say don't do it. As at the beginning of this chapter, it's got other stories. It's got a lot of good stories. I'll probably do some more. But it was a priest. I'll try to remember to put this in the description too. He points out that when you play with the Ouija board, you're already given anything, any type of spirit, permission to possess your arm and your hands. And what's to stop it from getting into the rest of you? So, yeah, can't disagree with that. So, yeah, actually, I think Marie might have ended up, as long as nothing else happened, I think she ended up pretty lucky. So, just a story there, and I'm going to go, and thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and, I love your comments. Please comment. Have you ever played with a Ouija board? What was your experience? I'd really like to hear that. And if you'd subscribe, I would appreciate that so much. And I'm going to go, and I will see you again tomorrow for another spooktacular scare. Have a good one. Bye.